My name is Javier. I live in Valencia, Spain. And I work in my company, which is called After Data, that is in this building. So every morning, I walk from my house to my office, which is only 10 minutes away. Then I arrive to the building, I enter, and I meet this guy. So if you look in the right, there's a directory of all the companies that are in this building. But if we zoom this a little bit, you realize that it's hard to read these tiny black numbers. So anyway, let's move forward. You arrive to the lift, and it's funny because every time a new person comes into the building, he spends 3 or 4 seconds trying to find out where the button of his floor is, because the building has -1, -2, -3, 0, mezzanine 1, mezzanine 2, so it's really complicated. It's funny. They always get lost. Finally, you arrive, and then the doors from the lifts open, and what you find? Toilets, really important. Women, men, you turn to the left, let me see, okay, Adeco, no, it's not here. We go backward, and 1, 2, 3, 4 lifts. There's one more lift on the left. So at the end, there's another little directory. Oh, yes, here it is, After Data, and that's my office. So it's easier to get lost in my building than in the jungle. Today's session is about navigation in FileMaker files. In other words, how to go from point A to point B, how to move around layouts in our FileMaker solutions. And I think it's one of the most difficult things to implement in a FileMaker solution. What we are going to do today is to look what happens in real life concerning navigation. Then we will open FileMaker, because this is a FileMaker event, so we are supposed to open FileMaker. And I will show you some different examples of how can we manage navigation. And at the end, we will wrap up with some conclusions. So let's look at real life. I think it's really interesting to look at real life, because we in computers, we imitate real life. We have a real desktop, we have some folders, and in our computers, we have desktop and folders. If we look at this mouse, we have gradients here. So in our buttons, we used to make them with gradients as well. So computers imitates real life. So let's see some examples of this. When you prepare your navigation system, please be as simple as possible. If we see design, there's many, many pieces of information just to say that retail for lease. So for me, this pineapple and all this stuff is useless. So let's compare this with this same situation. There's a door as well. I took this picture. If it's hard to read, it's hard to use. So let's try to make things readable. You know, if you are older than 40, you know that it's hard to read small fonts. So let's make our fonts bigger, please. I like design because it has a really big 6. Then, in case you have any doubt, floor 6. You go to the left, to the kitchen, to the right, to the workspace. So it's really, really easy to read. Oh, this is a fun example. This is the emergency button, and they say, where is it? Here, push for help. But maybe someone realized that it's hard to read the most important button in case of a fire. So they make another big stick, push for help. So where I should push, in the sticker or in the button? So let's make things easy to read. If you arrive to this bar, you see the big beer sign. But then this other sign is great because it has red letters for prices, black letters for sandwiches and so on, but I don't want to be cryptic, so I don't like to guess what is a fried chicken. I know that it's a chicken sandwich, but I prefer to avoid any kind of abbreviations in my code and in my navigation. Sometimes some of my customers that has multilingual solutions, they prepare a layout with a form and they write down the same word in 2 different languages, like if we were in real life. No, there's many different techniques out there that you can use to prepare a multilingual solution. So don't use this typical printed style in your solutions. Purpose. Let's say that you had to send an email from FileMaker. And the user clicks a button and a custom dialog says, do you want to send an email? I prefer to put in my buttons send and cancel instead of yes or no. So use this kind of buttons that call us to action. So in this case, with this room, they don't say this is room HH3029 or whatever. This is focus room. You won't be distracted. Like this one. You go to this room because you want calm. Position. Where our letters, where our buttons are located. If you are going upstairs, it's perfect because letters are at the top, up to the south roof. This picture is from the Adobe headquarters in San Francisco, and it's really, really well done because this sign, creativity for all, is in our eye level. And on the right, there's a big one and different colors to display different areas of the headquarters. Talking about position, this picture was taken at the Rome Hotel last month during the Rome FileMaker Week. So if we compare the picture from my building to this one, I prefer this one as well. And you know why? Because we all know how to use these numbers, this panel. You know why? Because it's like our iPhone. It's like this device we use every day. It's the same like this. This is the Rome airport. Signs are located in the perfect position, in the door. And what's more, that arrow on the left is moving, showing your way. Oh, this is great. This is Rome as well. Every time you wash your hands, they are wet, of course. But what they did is they put this pedal on your feet. So you can, let's move backward, you can wash your hand and you decide when you want the water on your hand. In the opposite, I bought this calendar last year. Here it is in Malmo. But after that, I realized how they display numbers here. And they say, this is crazy. Why don't you put 1 week in every line? So this is useless. Why do you try to do things in a different way? We all know how a calendar works. So this calendar is crap. Location, where we are. Try to make your users know if they are in the customer's layout, in the invoices layout, whatever. So use breadcrumbs, put the name of the layout really, really clear at the top. I know that my friend Edward is where design is, because this is in Berlin, in Germany. When our user leaves one layout, we have to inform him or her that he's leaving a particular layout. Have you saved changes? Is this field empty and it's supposed to be filled? So, like this. This sign is not important because you are going to another part of Berlin. they telling you, hey, man, you are leaving the American sector. It's the same like this. This is a commercial area in San Francisco in Pier 39, and say you are end of the Pier 39. So talking about buttons and signs, we can combine 4 different elements: icon, text, arrow, and color. This is an example. I like it really, really, because they combine these 4 items in a really good way. They are clear, easy to read. They have arrows, text, colors. Great. So also we can play with colors. If we cross this tunnel and we see those signs with the Chinatown and so on, we realize that we are arriving to Chinatown not only because this sign, because we also have some color information. Black and red, immediately we think that it comes from China. And of course, with this map here, because we have orange on the left, blue in the middle, green on the right. So we are using color here in a very smart way. Consistency, this is the opposite. Hey man, how do you make a blue color for a room that is called the green room? This is really, really confusing. And what's more, the on-air sign is green. It used to be red. So anyway, disability. Make sure that maybe someday one person with any kind of disability will use your solution. So we should think, how can we improve our solution to help these people to use our files? So this is how real life works. Now let's open FileMaker and let's see 3 different ways that we can use to manage our FileMaker navigation system. I will introduce 3 different systems. I don't mean that one is better than the other. My intention is that you have just options to choose, or maybe to take some little pieces of information and use them in your solution. This one is from Codens. I will provide you the link at the end. It's in the presentation, so you can download the file. I like this one because it's really, really simple. When you click that button, you get this card window where you can expand or collapse all the different items from here. We click. We can do what they call deep linking, which is really convenient in your solution. Deep linking means that if I want to go to the lovers area, I don't need to go first to people, then to personal, then to lovers. No. I can do what they call deep linking, just to click here, and then it pops up with this information. This solution is really clever because it's not really complex. Everything is made, let me open the data viewer, with this global variable. They are making a SQL query to get all these pieces of information here, and then via some calculation, they are putting this data in some different fields. Let's see how it works. Window. Yeah, window. Here it is. Okay. Navigation. You, as the developer, has to fill this table with all the different items you want to be included in the menu. And then you write down the level where you want them to be and how you want them to be sorted. This is 1, 1, 1. Let's sort this, sort ascending. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, etc. And this is the name that will be displayed. This is a calculation field, so you don't have to bother about this tab because it's automatically inserted into the field. You just need to put here the names of the different layouts and to fill this different sort order. Obviously, we are including our parameter here where we can say one UUID, layout name, or whatever. So this is our main menu or navigation table. So now here is like a secondary table that has, in this case, it has 50. Yeah, it has 50 records. All of them are calculation fields that are getting data from the $$ navigation global variable. It's making a substitution row by row of this splitter or separator, and it's getting data from row 1, row 2, row 3 via this get value function, name, short, level, and so on. So the only thing you need is to prepare a long SQL. Let me see, script workspace. Here it is, open navigation. That's it. As you can see, it's not really complex. It's just a SQL variable, and then you go to a particular layout using this do a thing. That's it. I think it's really clever, and what's more, they made some arrangement to make sure that even if you change the name of the field, even if it's SQL, it won't break. It will work. So this is one option. There is a long explanation on YouTube from Martha Thing that explains how it works, so you can check this out. Let's see the second one. This one is from the free FileMaker templates from iSolutions. Here it is. Okay. The first thing that caught our attention is that all the buttons are available anytime. Campaigns, content, assets. Which makes a big difference with option 1 that I showed you before. Do we want all this information to be here or not? Or it depends if we have only 5 buttons versus 12 or 13 buttons. There's some decisions we had to make according to the complexity of our solutions. So here we have campaigns, content, and we are moving. So if you, let me see, content, okay, yeah. On the left side, we also have a portal, and this portal is the typical self-related portal that displays all the fields that we have in our found group of records. Is this convenient or not? Maybe it can be a little distracting, because if I want to work with this, what is this? This content, I also watching all this additional stuff that can be a little bit confusing. It's easy to search for them, because I can say win, and this is another thing that can be confusing as well. There is a magnifying glass, but it don't work. We need to use our return key to make this search. I don't mean this is wrong. I mean, this is a different way to do things. They don't have this expand, they have this expand and detail, here it is, to change from one list view to the detail view. Later on we will see how we can handle this. It's really helpful as well to include here some tooltips that say that we are adding a new record. If we press this button, or if we press this button, we will delete it. I don't know if it's my fault. Can we fix this? Oh, okay. Right. Thank you. So now there's another way to handle detailed information when we are here, and this card window that open, and we can choose one of these. So my conclusion is that this kind of navigation system can work only if you have a very, very simple solutions. Especially because if you need to insert more buttons, you have to copy and paste this button bar in any of the layout. There's no way to do it outside this particular presentation. And if we go to the script workspace, there's a button here that says here, navigation. It has some else if, else if, else if, else if. Not really abstract in my point of view. Okay, that's option 2, which is another option you have. And I will show you another one that I made for my own solution. What I call it dynamic navigation. Here it is in FileMaker. Okay, the thing is that I have a FileMaker solution which has 1, 2, 3 several layouts. This one, and I click and I get this window. I click in a car, it goes there. I can put my navigation system in a popover. Here it is. And the cool thing is that we don't need tables, we don't need relationships. We also need one field called exclude. The thing is that this is very comfortable for us, for the developers. The reason is that I have this layout and I say layouts, duplicate layout, setup. Let's change the name and we call it EngageU. Okay. We go to browse mode, and when we click here, the EngageU layout is available from any of the different layouts in my solutions, in a car. But what happens if we want to avoid that this layout was included in our menu system? So, in the car, we go to these settings. This is the only field that we have here. So now we type EngageU. We type the exact name of this layout that we're going to remove from our menu systems. Now, when we click here, the EngageU is hidden. So how can I do this? I create, obviously, as you probably guess, this is, let me go pop over, here it is. This is a web viewer. And this web viewer has a custom function on it that is called myHTML. So let's go, File, Manage, Custom Functions. Here it is, okay. We got this custom function, we have the myCSS and the myMenu custom function, and finally this one that remove items list A, list B. So the myHTML custom function has the basic data that we need to make an HTML page. And it has the myCSS custom function and myMenu. So let's see what this custom function do. myCSS. So this is just typical CSS. So it's cool because I can change colors, I can change fonts or whatever I need from here, and every change will be immediately shown in every different layouts. So I don't have to worry to go one layout by one layout making these changes. And my menu, here's where the magic happens. Probably you know that there's a FileMaker function that is able to get all the layout names from a particular solution. This one, layout names. So if we leave this parameter empty, it will take layout names from the current file. So I sort values from this function, so I get all these layouts from my file. Then I need to remove those particular layouts that were wrote down in the only field that we have. So I make a select from SQL to get data from that field. This is the only dependency that we have, that the field must be named exactly settings and exclude. Then we have one list with all our layouts and another list with layouts that we want to remove from that list. So let's use this final remove from list custom function. So at the end, we have our list. But we need to make this li tag for HTML. So we run a while that makes this div, nav, ul, etc. So using this while, we are getting the code that we need and that will be inserted in this big HTML that is feeding my web viewer. I think it's a cool technique, especially for us if we don't want to work a lot. So let's go back for a moment to where, here it is, okay. Let's play. So the thing I recommend when we plan to use a FileMaker navigation system is that we should start with an empty layout, especially because if we prepare our file in local, the first layout that will be open when we upload our file to the server is the last one that was open in local. So I always have a table called global with an empty layout which has nothing. That's because I call a low impact table, because no data will be transferred from the server to the user. We don't need to be here in the customer table or whatever. So then from here, we go to a list view, and then finally we go to the detail view here. It can work, but only if we have a small team of people. Because if we have different privilege sets, we can think, okay, if we have different privilege sets, I can hide some of the buttons to those particular users. But then we get this. Some buttons are hidden, so it looks really weird for me. So another option to this navigation model is to use two different home layouts for Team A or Team B. If we work like this, we were able to make some different approach, and it looked really nicer. This is a real solution. I'm showing this option, these buttons, to a particular team, Team A. But if you are logged with a different user, you have different buttons, but you are not missing anything because all the buttons are here. Team A and Team B. So, some of my conclusions after this session is that whenever you are preparing a navigation system, copy from real life. Real life is great because we all know how it works. We don't have to explain anything additional. So don't reinvent the wheel and try to copy or imitate real life in your FileMaker navigation system. Obviously, keep it simple. Consistency, same appearance, same functions. Test your app with regular people because we are IT people, but maybe you can talk to your wife, to your son, to your daughter, whoever who is not involved in this kind of solution. Say, try to make an invoice, try to find, and you will be surprised, and you will get really valuable information. And finally, use dry coding versus hard coding. Dry coding means don't repeat yourself, don't use one system that allows you to change everything from just one single location. So that's it. I hope that if you ever come to Valencia to visit my office, you were able to find where it is. Thank you. All these files are available in the PDF for my presentation. You can download from the general documentation from the event, or if you want to get it right now because you are anxious, you can download from this URL. Thank you. Enjoy your meal.